I was raped by a group of dolphins. My name is Amy Johnson, and I had always admired dolphins from afar. One day, while swimming in the ocean, a pod of dolphins surrounded me. At first I thought it was a friendly encounter, but things quickly took a dark turn. Without warning, the dolphins turned aggressive. They began to bite and ram into me with great force. I cried out for help, but there was no one around to save me. The dolphins continued their assault, overwhelming me with their strength and numbers. I fought desperately to defend myself, but their attacks were relentless. Their sharp teeth pierced my flesh, and I felt my energy fading. As the pain intensified, I felt something going into my butt. In my final moments, I struggled to stay afloat, but the injuries were too severe. I succumbed to the relentless assault of the dolphins, taking my last breath beneath the unforgiving waves. Though my life was cut short by this tragic encounter, I hope that my story raises awareness about the risks of interacting with wild animals.
So you may have seen this image floating around the internet today, because this image, which was recently released, was taken before Emma Brown, featured below, took a gun and turned it on her father and then herself. The photo is from last year in September, and the plan was part of a murder plot that her and another 12-year-old girl came up with. It was later discovered that Emma's plan was to kill her family and her pets and then run away with a friend. And after she shot her father in the abdomen, she was running towards the driveway when it's believed that she panicked and turned the gun on herself. This all happened in Texas, and now authorities believe that she was headed towards the driveway so she could grab her car, drive about 230 miles to her friend, and then the both of them were going to drive to Georgia together. It's also now believed that Emma didn't come up with this plan herself. It was actually planned by the friend, but they're not releasing the friend's name, and it's not clear how Emma and her met. It's a little implied that cops are blaming social media for this. They issued a statement that basically said now is a good time to make sure you know who your kids' friends are, especially if they're meeting people off the internet, because you don't ever really know what they're talking about.
While we were here, all right, my sergeant served a search warrant on your property. Okay? We have Kayla.
Excuse me?
We have Kayla in your property. She was locked in a container. Okay? She has told us that you shot and killed Charlie. Okay? So at this time, I'm going to need you to stand up and put your hands behind your back.
He's already handcuffed.
He's already done. Okay. You're under arrest right now for kidnapping. All right? They're continuing to search your property. They're going to continue. They got cadaver dogs down there. Okay? If you want to help yourself, tell me where Charlie's at so we can go find his body. That's pretty much where we're at right now.
Okay.
Do you want to help yourself and tell me where the body's at so we can go recover Charlie's body?
No, sir.
You don't want to?
No, sir.
Okay. Why'd you shoot him?
I didn't shoot anybody, sir.
Okay, why'd you lock her in a container in your property?
I was talking.
She's on your property right now, locked in a container. They just got her out of they call it a
Shipping container.
Connex box. She was locked in a container in a Connex box. They got her. We have investigators. We have like 20 investigators on your property right now.
Okay.
And they have found her in the Connex box. So she never left your property. Okay, you locked her in the Connex box, and she has told investigators that you shot and killed Charlie. Okay, so I'm trying to give you an opportunity to help yourself and help us, help you find this body. Because she's saying Charlie's body, you buried Charlie's body on that property.
No, sir.
So you're saying you didn't lock her up, you didn't put her in the Connex box or anything?
No, sir. I'm going to need an attorney.
Probably a good thing. Go ahead and put him in the back of your car.
Sir.
Sentence, we lost com. I think that would be a sentence I would never want to hear in my life again. Like lost com, as in we lost communication.
Were you aboard the vessel? Were you here?
Yes, I was on board the vessel. I was on the ship. I think I lost hope when we passed the 96 hours mark. That's when I lost hope. And that's when I even then sent a message to my family on shore. I said, I'm preparing for the worst. That's when I lost hope. But my daughter, for example, she didn't lose hope until the call with the Coast Guard, when they basically informed us that they found debris.
Tell me just some memories that you have of your boy.
So he would not go anywhere without his Rubik's Cube. So he used to teach himself through YouTube how to solve the Rubik's Cube, and he was really fast at it. I think his best was 12 seconds or something like that.
What were your last moments or words that you shared with your husband and son? Do you remember that?
Well, we just hugged and joked, actually, because Shehzada was so excited to go down. He was like a little child.
Was that a lifelong dream of his to do?
Yes, absolutely. He had this ability of childlike excitement. So they both were so excited.
And how did Mum feel about it, or were you excited as well?
I was really happy for them, because both of them, they really, really wanted to do that for a very long time. So it was supposed to be Shehzada and I going down. But then I stepped back and gave the space to Suleiman, because he really wanted to go.
This, again, seems like a really difficult question to ask, but how do you begin to get closure? If that's even possible.
Is there such a thing? I don't know. I think he started so many amazing projects. He was involved in so many, he helped so many people, and I think Aline and I really want to continue that legacy.
Is there anything else you want to add, Christine?
That I miss them. That I really, really miss them. Yeah.
He can fix the cube in 9 seconds, yeah?
Yeah, but that's my best. So
That's your best. Let's
average
see.
15.
So should we give you 20?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if you can fix this in 20 seconds. Starting now. Whoa! Great job!
Sorry, there was a lot of mistakes in that.
Thank you so much. That was great.
On August 26, 2018, this may have been the worst day in gaming history. And on the right is David Katz, the man responsible for this day. He was a competitive Madden player who would often win many tournaments, but he would be so toxic in doing so. And his peers and opponents always said he seemed a little off. Even after winning a tournament, he never seemed happy. Now in 2009, he wrote his judge a letter explaining the hatred for his own mother and said he hated everything about her. Now David struggled with a lot of mental disabilities and even would go days, months, years without bathing just to play the game. Now these are the two victims, Spot Me and True Boy, and August 26, 2018 was their last days on Earth. Now this is the viral clip of the shooting incident. I cannot show this on TikTok, but search at your own risk. Rest in peace to the victims.
Hello, true crimers. I'm sure the majority of you have already seen this information and already know the outcome, but just in case, to those who do not know, the search for the missing 5 people on the Titan submarine is over. They announced, I think it was earlier this morning, that they had found debris in the area where the submarine would have possibly gone, missing. And then they held a press conference not too long ago. And they have announced officially that the Titanic sub passengers have died due to catastrophic pressure implosion. From what I've seen people talk about in terms of like the science behind this, it's very, very likely that the 5 men aboard the sub probably weren't even aware that they were in danger. That the implosion is basically, it's so sudden and so instantaneous that their deaths were very likely also instantaneous. I remember I used to love watching Mythbusters, and I remember this episode where they did something to like a tanker thing, and this is basically what they showed. So this is what an implosion would look like. Now, it won't be identical to probably what happened with this, since this one's underwater and it's smaller, it's a different shape, but just so you have an understanding of what it looks like. So that's obviously very terrifying. That would be something I would call a worse death imaginable if it's something they actually felt. But there's really no way of knowing. I have read that they said there probably won't even be remains to even find. The passengers did sign waivers. They knew what they were getting into. They knew what this was. You know, I would hope, knew about the construction of this thing and all of the... I just don't understand how anyone would ever trust this. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I'm claustrophobic as it is, so you're not ever putting me in a tube like that, but like, even if I wasn't and I saw this, I would be, no, like, I'm not getting in that. And then they rivet it shut so it's sealed, so you can't get out of it until someone opens it. There's just so much wrong with this thing, and clearly this is proof. The dude who made this thing, oof. I don't expect this to end well for him financially, probably. About that, there won't be bodies. There will not be any bodies to find. There will be probably no remains to find or see. They were 2 miles deep in the ocean, and basically we're in a submarine made of paper mache and cardboard at this point. So an implosion, they're just gone. They're gone. The amount of pressure and the fact that they just I have no other way to put it. Just there won't be anything left. By the way, my last video I said the owners were going to pay for something. I had a brain fart and I forgot he was on the damn thing, so he did pay for it, technically. But yeah, no, there won't be anything to find.
Breaking news, we have an audio clip directly from the survivors who are still in that submarine at the bottom of the ocean that was going to the Titanic, and it's a bit chilling. I want to warn everybody. So guys, make sure to click the plus sign too, because I have all kinds of information coming out about this and more on this topic. At yesterday's press conference, the Coast Guard was there, and they finally confirmed what we've all been saying in the leaked sources that were coming out, that apparently we heard banging coming from inside. Now, apparently there was a Canadian aircraft carrier that was flying over, and their sonar picked up on this. Now, you might think, and a lot of people have said, well, it could be any type of noise, but if you go and watch that interview with them, which go check out my other videos, you'll see, even the Coast Guard, there was some back and forth on exactly what was going on and whether or not they think it was their survivors. But basically it was coming in 30-minute intervals for 4 hours. And that was several days ago. And then yesterday, they heard it again. The Coast Guard has said that they are searching in the area where they heard the sounds, and it's right near where the wreckage should be. And we have released audio of what that sounds like. So take a listen. Now, what I find interesting about this clip, as opposed to what the Coast Guard said, is that when you hear this, you can hear a pattern, a structural pattern with the knocking. That would indicate intelligent life or humans, whereas with nature, typically things are more sporadic. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Sound off in the comments and click the plus sign. I've got more digging to do. debris has been found in regards to that missing submarine that was going to the Titanic. And a lot of people are saying, that's it, it's been found, it's over. However, there are still a lot of questions, and what is actually happening? Have they actually found the submarine or any of the people? I've got some of that information, and guys, I have more of this coming out, so make sure and click the plus sign. Now, before everybody starts thinking it's found, I want to bring up a couple things that a lot of people aren't talking about. There's a lot of unanswered questions. They have said a debris field was found. This was what the tweet said from the Northeast Coast Guard. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it's from the sub. Also, they've been doing daily briefings and press conferences, typically around 1 p.m. They've pushed it to 3, which I think might even get pushed further. What this would signify is that right now they are taking all of that information. They are actually analyzing the debris to see if it's part of the sub. We don't know that yet. Also, it's very common when it comes to that area of the Titanic to find debris, especially from the Titanic. So again, we have to ask, what is it that they found? Have they found any bodies? Hate asking, but that's a question that we need to bring up. We just don't know yet, so until they confirm it with us, we don't yet know what's going on. And I have more questions. For instance, this debris they found, was it above the water or is it below the water? Now, we have reports that are saying that they used an ROV to find it, and typically that's going to be a submarine that's unmanned but can go to the very bottom to be able to look at the debris. The other part is, if they found debris on the floor, which they have not confirmed, but that's what people are saying, and some reports are coming out about this. If it was on the floor and they found it, they then have to bring it up. How long is that going to take, and how long does that take to analyze? So guys, right now, all we know is they found debris, but nothing has been confirmed yet. What do you guys think, though, about all these unanswered questions? Do you think that we'll get them answered during the press conference? Do you think they actually found them? Sound off in the comments, and guys, click the plus sign. I've got more coming on this. It's just been confirmed by the Coast Guard at their press conference that the debris field that was found is that of the missing submarine. And guys, make sure and click the plus sign because more information is continuing to come out about this, and I'm going to keep you up to date. Now, there is a silver lining in this dark situation, so make sure and stay to the end, and I'm going to cover all that. A very big question people have asked. But also keep in mind that this is still very new, and even them finding all of this is very new, so more information is still coming out, and I'm going to keep you guys up to date on it, but I'm going to give you exactly what we know so far. So what they have said is that 2 debris piles were found right next to the Titanic. One was up to 1,600 feet away. There were several questions that were asked. One of the questions was, did the sub run into the Titanic? Is that what happened? They said that's inconclusive, possible, but they don't know yet. Another one, and this is kind of graphic and gruesome and a bit disturbing, so heads up, is about the crew members. Were any of them found? Now, it seems like this thing imploded underwater. And if that's the case, because that's what they're seeing, then we don't actually know if they will ever find them. How many pieces are they in? Is the water and the currents carrying them? So right now, we haven't actually found any signs of the survivors or the crew, unfortunately. In these debris piles, the reason that they know that this is the submarine is because that submarine had a very unique design, and they found things like the pressure chamber and the hull that are very specific to that submarine. And one of the biggest questions that's been on everybody's mind, and this is where the silver lining comes from, somebody asked, what's the timing of this? When did this happen? So this is what they said. They said when they were searching, their sonars over the last several days never picked up an implosion, and they would have. That doesn't mean we know the exact timing. However, what it would indicate or what it might allude to is that this probably happened when they lost contact. So the good news is that they probably weren't down there suffering together and losing oxygen. So if they were going to go, this would be the most peaceful way, which is where that silver lining comes in. There's still so many unanswered questions, though. There's still so many holes. What do you guys think about all this? Sound off in the comments, and I hope it's obvious that at least from this channel, our condolences to the family. This is an awful situation, and I at least hope that big changes will be made in this industry so something good can come from it. Guys, I've got more coming out on this, so make sure and click the plus sign because I'm going to keep you up to date.
Feel like you're hostage, now your lover, hidden under covers. You only love me when you wake up. Is it me or am I not enough? Then you leave and I'm hollow. get so low. It has to be a way out. They say I'm lucky, but they don't live inside my head. It's where the demons at. It's where the demons at. They say I'm lucky, but they don't live inside my head. It's where the demons at. It's where the demons at.
I feel like you drugs, alcohol, rain.